Got it. Yeah, I would imagine also if there would be some evidence looking at resistance training added on to that, it would be beneficial because, post surgery in particular, you're less mobile after, right? And so you end up losing muscle mass, and it's really hard to gain that muscle mass back after at least when you're older, after an event like that.
Yeah, the muscle mass in cancer is critical. Cancer can become a wasting disease, this phenomenon called cachexia, where you get muscle wasting, especially once you get advanced or metastatic cancer. But now there's a lot of research showing that low muscle mass is really the critical thing driving risk of recurrence and death from cancer. So these patients who have low muscle mass or lose muscle mass when they're going through these difficult treatments tend to have the worst outcomes. So it's prompted a lot of research now into the resistance training angle versus the aerobic exercise angle.
Wow. Does resistance training counter cancer cachexia? Because I know that's a little bit of a different mechanism. Is that an inflammatory driven mechanism that's breaking down muscle?
Yeah, I don't think they know all the mechanisms right now of why that's going on, but they've attempted to address it mostly with nutritional interventions and supplement types of interventions, but not had great success. There is some research looking at exercise and strength training seems to have modest benefits, but I think ideally we'd want to intervene earlier and prevent patients getting from that cachexic state, because then things, progress very rapidly once you get into that cachexia, and it's very hard to reverse it at that stage. But if we can prevent it up front and delay it, I think that would be a really important benefit.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, on the prevention stage, it would be, you have to be incorporating regular resistance training, strength training into your workout routine, because you want to basically build up that muscle reserve that you have more to pull from if a terrible thing like a cancer diagnosis occurs. And cancer cachexia, I don't know exactly what drives it all, but if it, kicks in, at least you have more muscle to start with, right? Like that would be.
And there is, and of course that feeds into the whole obesity paradox, right? Which is obesity is a risk factor for getting a chronic disease, but it actually helps you live longer after a chronic disease. So we've seen that in a few of the studies, say with lung cancer, that once you're diagnosed with lung cancer, patients who are actually larger, more obese, have a little bit longer survival. And I think it gets into this idea of the reserves that you've built up and sort of this rapid decline that's going to occur. I think the obesity angle may be important, but it's probably even more important with the muscle mass, right? The larger amount of muscle mass is going to help you live longer, as cancer sort of takes this toll over the course of months or years.
Do people with obesity also have more muscle mass? Are they just eating more calories, including from protein, which is a signal for muscle protein synthesis?
Yeah. And the research shows there's no necessary link between that. There is this phenomenon we call sarcopenic obesity. So there's high rates of obesity, but those people have fairly low lean body mass as well.